giving newspaper review. Reginald Adi will come your way with an interview with the MP, the parliamentary aspirant for Ododo constituency for the GUM party on his aims and aspirations for his constituents in Ododo. The vice president has been trending on Twitter for like 2 days now, all because he just opposed the doomsday crisis to the coronavirus pandemic. And he sends people at his back for doing it. Some members of parliament at the minority caucus are saying that it is inhumane for the vice president to make such comments. But it seems that Kojo Nkrumah maintains that as far as the NDC keeps throwing political jabs, some actors of the MPP, which the vice president is part, cannot remain quiet. Even though the president has said that we should avoid politics in these times. We're going to look at this conversation among others. Borges Olive Oil, 100% olive oil is sponsoring the show. We have Migo Drinking Water, Baker's Relish, we have Yaxin Herbal, Asata Roofing Sheets in accessories, among others. My name once again is Reginald Robertson. We're going to take commercial break. When we come back, we have more for you on the show. Do stay tuned.
Supa na wanya pomuden se wo banum nso a hwehunu se eye Migo purified mineral water eye nso a yetu ne baby pa asaso ne so se kroje se wonya Migo purified mineral water bogu ubu a wo see you manum nsupa Migo mineral water de edanso esan say the modern technology so na aye ede na nkabia ne atri Migo purified mineral water bacteria na mhen wa bewrem eye very hygienic obia di wadanse Migo mineral water neatly packaged for 500 ml bottles. Na wani boswa na ukondonsio wobenya Migo purified mineral water to bebia to phone call dodowa amount Tipa Junction and now for 050-7055-409 and now 055-392-1088 Migo purified mineral water akona kono.
Borges extra virgin olive oil, best for salad dressing. A little of Borges classic olive oil will make delicious meals. Borges with garlic, excellent for your girls. Make your meals healthy with Borges.
I maintain a healthy life with Borges olive oil.
Borges olive oil, the very best always.
And that's when you sign. The vaccine mixture moving the soup.
The malaria near would you be prepared? Hey, vaccine mixture near ocean one what you are. No, I'm young red. Wapas, chicken one. Vaccine mixture, vaccine mixture, so and Fania grow.
Malaria and quadia, no me yaxin mixture. Now, bet yes, king. They won't any more about food, about my flower. About flower when you feel you and no murdering. Jackson Herbal Mixture, only size.
Ago, good people of Ghana. Here are some safety measures on prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of tissue into a bin immediately you cough into it and wash your hands with soap and running water. Avoid shaking hands and use sanitizers as often as you can. Signs and symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. Should you experience any of these or for more inquiries, please contact 0558 439 868. That's 0558 439 868 or call 0509 497 700. That's 0509 497 700.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and running water.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and partners.
John, what's in you? Wow, Eddie, what boy, Juma. I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatec. Oh, now same roofing is a baby bray, nice. Why the catch hell? Asatec roofing sheet today, and your nice keke with the board dance were a chey and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair bray. No free roofing sheet, no dear. Who hear that will be out? Now, so the board dance were a year supampe. What means which Roman send your open roofing sheet? You try the summer pepe. Mama poor Asatec when you're there. One of my technical advice na estimate free or professional installers and so on your on-site installation. Oh yes, quality and with the feminine. Asatec 5 days pay now can order. Now a year after sales service proper binso. Sheshe Asatec Watema Community 2 Meridian Road at Bangkok Board Warehouse Western Region. So Asatec Watakrade Anaji Yeni Princeland Hotel and Edition and a Volta Region Yawo Akachi South District Assembly Kwainusuwa.
And first of everything, thank you to our sponsors there. My name once again is Reginald Robertson. Yesterday, during the press briefing that the Information Ministry had on the update of COVID-19 in Ghana, there was a need for us to give modalities or roadmap or how the face mask is to be used. Yesterday, they had it done. Dr. Nsia Asare happens to be the presidential advisor on health. Also came to talk about the mortality rate we have in Ghana. Mortality rate we have in Ghana, just opposing it with other countries. He made mention of South Africa, made mention of Zimbabwe, among other African countries. And for what is indications, when you compare what we are experiencing in Ghana and what they are also experiencing, is another thing altogether. Issues concerning mortality. And we have the likes of Dr. Titus Bay, who happens to be the Deputy General Secretary of the GMA, Ghana Medical Association, saying that it might be that the death rate that you've seen, the 18 deaths recorded so far, is overstated. It's overstated. Overstated in the sense that some of them had underlying factors which has led to their death. Though they might have tested for COVID-19, maybe COVID-19 did not kill them. COVID-19 did not kill them. So since last week, there's been the need to conduct an autopsy on all those that have died and not been buried as a result of COVID-19. As a result of COVID-19. We've tried to get Dr. Titus on the line subsequently on the show to speak to him on that. Yesterday, the health minister is saying that governments cannot in any way provide PPEs or face masks for everyone. So what they're going to do is that if you are there and you can afford, purchase one for yourself and purchase one for your brother. Just as a means of recap, or to kickstart our show, we are going back to the Information Ministry to get updates of COVID-19 that was done yesterday at the ministry, championed by Kojo Pony Nkrumah, the Information Minister. Let's have a look at it.
Morning, and thank you for joining us here at the Ministry of Information for the Minister's press briefing starting from Tuesday this week. As you recall, we announced last week that from this week we are regularizing the time and the schedule for it so that you can lock it down in diaries, and we can also ensure that the persons who have information and who have to join us to make that information available to you, join us in good time to make that information available to you. And so we are starting from today, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. We'll do our best to stick with the time. We've also encouraged our colleagues to be here on time so that we can engage you. And it also allows you to plan your programs properly so that you can pick our feed as and when we commence. This morning's brief is in 4 main parts before we take questions and provide some answers. First, the Honorable Minister responsible for health will share with us some remarks on some worrying trends we have about the observation of the preventive etiquette. Remember, we have mentioned that there are about 2 or 3, actually 3 lines of protection, 3 layers of protection that we have. The very first one is the closure of our borders to stop importation cases into Ghana during this time of this global pandemic. The second is the domestic restrictions that have been imposed, the ban on schools, churches, mosques, etc., social and public activities. The third layer of protection is the preventive etiquette. Wash your hands, use hand sanitizers, observe physical or social distancing, and now mandatorily wear the nose mask or the face mask, as some will describe it. We are observing some worrying trends when it comes to the observation of the preventive etiquette. The Minister of Health will share with us some remarks as a first item, the observation of the preventive etiquette. The second is that the Ghana Health Service will go into some detail with us on guidelines about the wearing of masks, guidelines on the wearing of masks. Dr. Abuaji Da Costa of the Risk Communication and Social Mobilization Unit will help us with an update on the guidelines on the wearing of masks. When is it mandatory? What do you do with it, especially if it's reusable? While at that, the Food and Drugs Authority will also share with us some remarks on subject of masks. We are noticing instances where people are sharing masks or are offering to share masks in public transport, etc. So the Food and Drugs Authority will have an opportunity to also update us when we deal with the subject of masks. We will speak briefly about our case count and case management. That will be done by the Director General of Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Abuaji. And while at that, we will also deal with how other health concerns are being affected by the COVID-19 response program, or how in the midst of the current challenges, other health concerns are being addressed. And then finally, we will speak about the enhanced testing program that we have been running. For a couple of weeks, we've been talking about backlogs. Where are they in terms of clearing backlogs? When are we going to get to a point where we now begin to get some daily numbers, if indeed they are by now coming to the end of the backlog? So are there still some more backlog samples, some that we are not aware of? While talking about that, we'll also deal with the subject of Ghana's RDT options. Remember, 2 addresses ago, His Excellency the President mentioned that we should explore the RDT option. Where are we on the RDT option? We've heard, I think, from Kumasi, there's been a development from the KNUST. The FDA has also been looking at an RDT option. Where are we on that front? And then, as I mentioned earlier, when can we start getting some daily test numbers, which will now begin to tell us what our trend is moving forward? Professor William Ampofu, who is the head of biology at Noguchi and is coordinating our testing program, join us with that update on the enhanced testing program and its consequential matters. So good morning and welcome once again. I want to start by inviting the Minister responsible for health to deliver some remarks on the observation of the preventive etiquette, which is one of the layers that is helping protect us as a country. Minister.
Thank you, Ko, for giving me the opportunity as I try to sanitize my hands and some parts of the desk or podium that we are here on. Good morning, my fellow Ghanaian citizens. This I'm not going to talk about science. I'm not going to talk about data. I'm not going to talk about what the doctors and the scientists, the laboratory people, including my information minister who has been trained as an intern now, he's doing his intern by the doctors because he's speaking doctor's language. He's a fellow. I'm trying to address basic things that we should all understand, accept, but some of it are just not listening and are just not accepting. The first thing I'll say is that the virus will stay with the world for a very long time to come. The virus will stay in the world for a very long time to come. As we speak, H1N1 happened so many years back. But when they started doing coronavirus tests and we started picking samples, some of the samples they tested is giving indication of people, some of us in Ghana, who still have H1N1 virus in their bodies. Apart from that, coronavirus, some of us, even before this outbreak, had coronavirus in our system. That is why when the thing started, they call it novel. Novel is French. In English, it's new. So there's a new coronavirus. It means coronavirus has been in the world for a very long time ago, and it is still here with us. So we are still going to have coronavirus generations yet unborn. Now, what do we have to do? Fortunately for us in our country, the scientists are yet to tell us why we are dying, why we are not getting severely critically ill, and why even our spread is not as huge and fast as is happening elsewhere. They have told us basic things that we have to do. So what we have to learn is that we should first of all make our minds that our way of life is going to change for a very long time to come. So we need to begin to advise ourselves that to enable the scientists fight the battle to win, to enable our president's dream realized, we have to change our way of life. If not permanently, at least temporarily, to make us assure ourselves that now we don't have such problem with coronavirus. It is not killing us that much, but we are all scared to the bone marrow. Why? Because it is spreading, and we don't even want people who have been tested positive to get close to us. Yes, because we may be infected. So I'm only going to talk about the few things we need to do to allay fears. The president, on several occasions he has spoken, continues to advise that if you don't have the thing very, very critical seriously for you to do, please stay at home. Some of us are still, after several weeks, several speeches by the president, we are still not listening. So some will just come out, no matter what. And they have told us that the disease has no legs. It moves from person to person. So if you don't stay in your home and you come out and you have it, you get somebody else. If you don't even have it, it is likely you pick it from the streets and take it back to your home to infect others who are there. So why are we not staying at home? At the workplace, we have been asked that don't let all your staff come to work at the same time. Some companies are allowing people to stay home for 2 weeks. Then they will change, like a shift system, so that they will get space to observe social distancing. If banks, companies that are making huge monies, have accepted that let some of our staff stay at home. What is the implication? It is reducing productivity. Their revenues are going down. But they have agreed to observe that. So those of us who come out just to a chat, to sit somewhere and do kokonsa, why can't we stay at home? And if you do this, it means that we continue to have spread. Dr. Boaji will talk to you about what is happening in the system now. So bear in mind that anything to come out, it is likely you are going to go back home with the disease. So if you don't have something very critical for you to do, please stay at home. Fortunately for us, our televisions and our radios, several of them, are always working. So you can get something to watch. You can get radio to listen to at home. So why do you want to come out? I'll talk about social distancing. Very critical. The Minister for Local Government worked together with us, has managed to even designate 2 markets, temporary, so that we can have space to do social distancing whilst we isolate our food items. So when you go to some places, they are using open spaces like football pitches as parks, as kits now, because they want the market women to sit farther away from each other. So those of us who are even going to buy that food, why can't we also queue or go when there is somebody in front of a woman selling tomatoes and we want to go and cramp ourselves around just one market person? That will not help us at all. So let us begin, if having started, to do and observe social distancing protocols. When people are getting closer to me, I make my hand like this. Please stay away, don't get close to me. And I tell them that I am exposed. Why? Because me and the doctors, they know what is happening to us. We get closer to people who have been tested positive. So we should think that we are exposed. And therefore, even if your wife is coming close to you, say, Madam, please wait, I'm exposed. Just to keep social distancing guidance, to reduce the rate at which a number of us can get the disease. In Europe, they like football more than us. But of late, they have suspended all their leagues. Germany, England, Italy, everywhere. Why? Because if they begin to play their football, people will come to the stadium, and that will break their social distancing regulations or protocols. So don't let us get out 3, 4 of us, 10 of us gathering together unnecessarily. They start talking about personal hygiene. When we were in school, they taught us this. Washing hands. It is not a new thing. Only that we ignored. Now it has become very, very necessary that we wash our hands frequently. If you're on television, they are not teaching us how to wash our hands very efficiently. Why would they say so? There is good reason why we should begin to wash our hands with soap as many times as we can every day. In some of our houses now, they have bought their own Veronica buckets. They provide their own homes. So when you are entering somebody's house, there is some facility for you to wash your hands with soap before you go in. Marketplaces, some market women associations have bought their own. In some instances where government has allowed people to go because of food, we have tried to provide some quantities of these buckets with soap and towel. But I keep asking myself, if you go and place a Verona bucket close to a junction in Nima, for example, and you give them
Welcome back from the Register watching AM Ghana. Yeah, and we gave you some highlights of what happened at the Information Ministry yesterday concerning the COVID-19 updates that the Ministry of Information under Honorable Kujopon Nkrumah has been championing to give periodic updates concerning COVID-19. And as a result, yesterday Noguchi is saying that it's done the last set of backlog that they had, that is over 8,800. They are done with it, and as it stands now, the results should be coming out on Thursday. So by Thursday, we should have in what the total scale is, and the way forward on the testing routines that are going to be done, which we have subsequently tomorrow on Thursday. And as I hope that before the week ends, you are going to have a dovetail scale, check the charts of COVID-19. Also going to be giving you what the radiometer is saying concerning COVID-19 in the world. And also come to the Ghana Health Service page to give you what our level is like. I've been joined by Anastasia Abadu, who's going to start with the newspaper headlines for us.
Moving to the Ghanaian Times, the most authoritative newspaper. The big one here on page 13 says, government seals 3 billion Ghana cedis deal for industries to cushion them against impact of COVID-19. And also on page 12, COVID-19 updates, Noguchi free for real-time COVID-19 test. And we have some information on the do's or the don'ts of wearing a mask. And it's saying you shouldn't eat when you have a mask on, and you shouldn't attach phone to a mask. On page 13, government supports media with 5,000 PPEs. And in the picture here, we have Ms. Nana Madukwa Isiamaje handing over the PPEs to heads of media organizations. So the president for GJ, Mr. Philmoni, received these PPEs on behalf of the media. And somewhere else on page 12 again, SC, Supreme Court dismisses cases against Ken Ofori-Atta $2.2 billion bond, Ghana-US military cooperation agreement. And this is the front page of the Ghanaian Times. The back page of the Ghanaian Times, plans to construct 4 interchanges in Kumasi in the pipeline, Amoakwata has said, and it says that plans are far advanced for the construction of 4 interchanges in Kumasi to drastically reduce vehicular traffic. Mr. Kwesi Amoakwata, Minister of Roads and Highways, has disclosed. He said the projects, which are at various stages of procurement, will take place at the Kumasi Airport Runabout, Swami, Oforikrom, and Ahojo. Mr. Amoakwata was not clear on the cost, but he was optimistic that the project would help ease traffic in these areas and fast-track businesses in Kumasi and the region as a whole. Though we are in times of COVID-19, in the beginning of the year, the president mentioned that this year is a year of roads. And so I think we are seeing some more roads being constructed in some regions. And also another story here at the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Arrest families who abandon their mentally ill relatives. And quickly reading about the government has been urged to trigger the immediate enforcement of sections of the Mental Health Act that criminalizes families who abandon their mentally ill relatives as the country strives to contain the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. Additionally, it has been implored to ensure that the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies take responsibility of the mentally challenged within their jurisdiction to rid them of public places in accordance with the law as part of measures to control the pandemic. Acting clinical coordinator of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, Nanaya Brown, stated these in an interview with the Ghanaian Times yesterday, following the hospital's confirmation of its first positive COVID-19 case last Thursday. And so, visit any newsstand, grab a copy of the Ghanaian Times and read these stories and some more in it.
All right, let's move to the Daily Guide, Ghana's favorite newspaper. We have Yibon Skull Idol seized from killer priest. NDC goes ballistic over Baumia. NDC goes ballistic over Baumia. The story is on page 3. And we have COVID-19 infections peak. COVID-19 infections peak. The story is on page 6. Today, Asante Hene, His Royal Majesty, 2432, the second clocks 70. He clocks 70. The story is on page 6 of the newspaper. The Asante was said to do the 16th occupant of the Golden Stool of Asanteman has clocked 70 years today. Otufo, who is the last born of the late Asante Hema Nana Efia Kubi Sawa Mpem II, ascended the throne exactly 21 years ago in 1991. The story continues to wish the king long life on the throne as he clocks 70 today. On our own part, too, as a media institution, we want to say a very big happy birthday to Otufo Osetutu the second, Asante Hene, Otekokoso. Yes, money man, good man. Yeah. Elsewhere, Usampofo's case adjourned indefinitely. Fusu Ampofo's case adjourned indefinitely. The story is on page 6. The Supreme Court has adjourned indefinitely a case brought by the national chairman of the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC Samuel Fusu, challenging the decision of an high court to adopt a witness statement in his trial. The adjournment was at the request of the Attorney General's Department to enable it to file an affidavit in opposition to the writ. Appearing before the court yesterday, Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Yvonne, urged the courts for an extension of time to file the affidavit in opposition. The panel, presided over by Chief Justice Kwesi Enim-Yeboah and assisted by Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, Samuel Mafu So, Nene, and Marian Owusu, granted the request and ordered the Attorney General to file an affidavit within 2 weeks. The case was subsequently adjourned Sunday indefinitely. The trial, Mr. Bafo and the party's Deputy Communications Officer, Anthony Kukubuai, are standing trial as an Accra High Court over alleged leaked audio belittling strategies the NDC intends to use for the 2020 elections, and one is being kidnapped of family members of political opponents. The NDC members captured on tape allegedly planning to commit crimes in the country and turn around to blame the ruling New Patriotic Party. The first prosecution witness, Benjamin Osei Ampofo Ejein, a broadcast journalist with Accra-based Adom FM, being led in evidence by the DPP, initially denied his police investigation statement, as well as witness statement statement presented by the prosecution, but claiming that he was seeing the documents which had a signature for the first time. As a result, the tendering of a statement through the witness granted heated debate as the defense lawyers tried to prevent the court from adopting the documents. The trial judge, Justice Kwame A. Esiedu, dismissed the objection by the defense team and admitted the statement, saying the statement was signed by the witness, therefore making it valid. He added, the practice direction is not law, but a direction, and that does not take away the discretion of the court. Not satisfied with the decision, the accused NDC gurus filed an application challenging the decision the trial judge at the Supreme Court, which has been quashed. So as it stands now, I think that this witness statement still stands in contention in court on the ongoing Vusampofo case. So this is what the front page of the newspaper looks like. At the back page, it says that GFA salutes clubs for cooperation. We have Ketu Kuku at the back. And then CAF is not forcing us. We have Henry Asante Chuma happens to be the spokesperson for the GFA. It's wrong to declare Basa champions. It's wrong to declare Basa champions. And that is at the back page of the daily guide. Grab a copy and read further into it.
We are quickly moving to the new crusading guide, and on page 10 it says Employment Ministry asks public to disregard fake relief package. And also on pages 3 and 10, with a big one here, COVID-19 recovery, GCB to raise 3 billion cedis to support hospitality industry, others Ekufuado assures. And also in another page on story, traditional leaders not above COVID-19 protocols, NHC. Baron CEO hot as property owners chase him over unlawful demolition at Dodowa. And also prices of Adonko hand sanitizer reduced drastically. Okay, and that also is there on the front page of the new Crusading Guide. So this is what it looks like. And at the back page of Sports Crusade, GFA seeks 2-week grace period from CAF to decide on 2019-2020 season, PRO. And also Asamoah praises Coach Jones Atukwefio for influencing his career. The last one on sports, Joe Ado eulogizes Stephen Appiah, compares him to Abedi Pele, and that makes it for the new Crusading Guide.
Move straight to the Daily Statesman. Supreme Court dismisses $2.25 billion US dollars Eurobond suit against Ken Oforiatta. The story is on page 3. Let's not toil in vain. Let's not toil in vain. Health Minister appeals to Ghanaians to adjust lifestyle in COVID-19 fight. I think we all need to support the health minister in this call. At the end of it, we put a lot of stringent measures to see to it that we contain the spread of COVID-19. If we make all these talk becomes in vain, what are we going to gain? We are going to go in that by June, dear. Moving to page 2, it says social distancing or out of business. Communications Minister shuts MTN office. So we have Madam Osla Kufu descended heavily on the MTN office at Dansoman because of its failing to adhere, because customers are failing to adhere to all safety precautions in fighting the pandemic. So when you go there, the front office is heavily crowded by customers who are waiting to have their turns to engage in other businesses with MTN at the Dansoman premises. That is all for the newspaper. Grab a copy and read for that.
The last but not least newspaper, The Chronicle, the true independent spear of the nation, on page 3 says, Mohammed's claim on press freedom false. Secretary of MFWA says, and Suleiman Baima, executive of MFWA, has more on this in The Chronicle. Also, Wycon Pokwase interchange on course. And on page 2, U.S. military case thrown out. And the big one on pages 2, 3, and 8, Ghana to see decline of COVID-19 soon. Ghana Health Service. Mr. Kweku Ajiman, Minister of Health, has more on this one in The Chronicle. ATL production stalls over no funeral syndrome. And at the back page of The Chronicle, Emmanuel Adebayo shows off his luxury cars after refusing to donate to Togo's coronavirus fund. Barcelona players to have COVID-19 test before returning to training. German league gets okay for May 15 restart. And the last on sports, I think 2020 is practically lost. Rafael Nadal expects no tennis this year. And the quotation for the year, for the day, James chapter 2 verse 17. So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. James chapter 2 verse 17. So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. And that sums it for The Chronicle and the newspaper headlines as well.
All right, that is all for the newspaper headlines. I'm going to go on that quick break. When we come back, our political reps are standing by for the newspaper review segment. Please do stay tuned.
Got away brilliantly and he's ahead of the field at the moment. And Bolt going very near. Comes Usain Bolt.
Join me, Samuel Kusi Appiah, every Monday at 8 p.m. on Adoatv as I bring you good things from the world of sports.
Borges extra virgin olive oil, best for salad dressing. A little of Borges classic olive oil will make delicious meals. Borges with garlic, excellent for your grills. Make your meals healthy with Borges.
I maintain a healthy life with Borges olive oil.
Borges olive oil, the very best always.
One peswa honomono, eho etisenye. Brodon so ho awotin, ehon so etisenye. O memuna kasa wotino, ehon so etisen enyi. Insembi diko, insembi editie. Timemufo eti pentukwato santino kotua ba wo hwe ne mo kwan se aka kendifo obeyi won betumi aboa ama man no etumi etumpon eso akendifo ebegidwa no etena so a na chese sebia so timemufo to a wotua no wode wasa wonsrem insembi diko insembi editie we intine ho behia se memende biada wobrabo nonkron ewo wudon no so sei ken woni me ebedi ehia ewo Adoatv kasafidie so wobra ye to nsa afra manyofo a wode semo akotin wona biahye wonim diankasa etwetwe nkomo wobra ye to nsa afam umahye bedwem ni no mesini kracho wo honom ebetutu na no na achesen sema edika editie no ya toto ho sere ene abasa e wo kasefidi eso me a metine dwem edigimedi ho chia me edi amede so ene political baby face.
And that's what you're saying. You're just saying, Mr.
Da bread malaria near would you be privy? Ah, hey, that's in mix and near ocean one what you are. No, I'm young red. Wapas, chicken one. That's in Mr. That's in Mr. That's in Mr. So and Vanya grow. I want to
malaria and quadia, no me yakse mixer. Now, bet yes, king cane. They won't any more about food, about my flower, about flower only if you and no murdering. Jackson have a mister, only size.
Numun super na wanya pomuden se wo ba numun so a hwe hu ni se eye mega purified mineral water eye nso a yeto ni baby pa asaso ni so se kroje se wonya mega purified mineral water bogu ubu a wo see you manumun super mega mineral water de edanso esan say the modern technology so na aye ede na nkabia ni atri mega purified mineral water bacteria na mhen wa bewrem eye very hygienic obia di wadanse mega mineral water neatly packaged for 500 ml bottles mu na wani bosua na wo kon donsio wo benya mega purified mineral water to bebia to phone call dodo wa amount for tipa junction and now for 050 7055 409 and now 055 392 1088 mega purified mineral water akona kono.
Ago, good people of Ghana. Here are some safety measures on prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of tissue into a bin immediately you cough into it and wash your hands with soap and the running water. Avoid shaking hands and use sanitizers as often as you can. Signs and symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. Should you experience any of these, or for more inquiries, please contact 0558 439 868. That's 0558 439 868. Or call 0509 497 700. That's 0509 497 700.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and the running water.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and partners.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories we design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
John, what you know? Wow, Eddie, what boy Juma. I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatek. Oh, now some roofing is a baby bray, nice keke. Why the catch hell? Asatek roofing sheet dear, and your nice keke with the bodan swa a chee and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair bray. No free roofing sheet, no dear. Who hear that will be out? Now, so the bodan swa a year supampe. What means to trauma send your open roofing sheet? We try the summer on pepe. Mama poor Asatek money there. One of my technical advice na estimate free or professional installers so aware your on-site installation. Ne boss crowd da from pa. Oh yes, quality ne bo da feminine. Asatek 5 days pay na unsa kan order. Na a year after sales service proper bin so. Hwehwe Asatek Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, Ebenkoko Board Warehouse, Western Region so Asatek Watakrade Anaji, Yene Princeland Hotel and the Shinimu. And a Volta Region yawo Akachi South District Assembly Kwano so wa.
Borges extra virgin olive oil, best for salad dressing. A little of Borges classic olive oil will make delicious meals. Borges with garlic, excellent for your girls. Make your meals healthy with Borges.
I maintain a healthy life with Borges olive oil.
Borges olive oil, the very best always.
One peswa ho no mono eho etisenye brodon so ho awoten eho so so etisenye o memuna nkasa woten no eho so etisen eni insem bi diko insem bi editie timemufo etipentokwato santene kwoto aba wo hwe ne mo kwan se aka kendifo wo beyi won ebetumi aboa amomman no etumi etumpon eso akendifo ebegidwa no etena so a na chese sebia so timemufo to a wotua no wode wasa wonsrem insem bi diko insem bi editie we intine ho behia se memende biada wo brabo nonkron e wo wudon no so sei ken woni me ebedi ehia e wo Adoatv kasa fidie so wo bra ye to nsa afra manyofo a wode manyosemo akoten wona bia hye wonim di ankasa etwetwe nkomo wo bra ye to nsa afam umra hye bedwemni no mesini kracho wo honom e betutu na no na achesen sema edika editie no ya toto ho sere ene abasa e wo kasa fidie eso me a metine dwemu edigimedi ho chiame edi amede so ene political baby face.
And that's what you're saying. You're just saying, Mr. Mukendas.
Ya bre malaria near would you be prepared? Ah, hey, that's in mix and near ocean one watch. No, I'm young red. Wapas, chicken one. That's in Mr. That's in Mr. That's in Mr. So and Vanya grow. I want to
malaria and quadia, no me yaksen mixer. Now, bet yes, king. They won't any more about food, about my flower. About flower when you feel you and no murdering. Jackson have a mister, only size.
Numun super na wanya pomuden. Se wo benum nsu a, hwe hu ni se eye Migo purified mineral water. Eye nsu a yeto ni baby pa. Asaso ni so se kroje. Se wonya Migo purified mineral water bogu ubu a, wo see you manum nsu pa. Migo mineral water de edanso. Esan say the modern technology so na ye. Ede na nkabia ni atri. Migo purified mineral water. Bacteria na mhen wa berem. Eye very hygienic. Obia di one dance here. Migo mineral water neatly packaged for 500 ml bottles mu. Na wani boswa na wo kon donsio. Wo benya Migo purified mineral water to bebia. To phone call dodo wa amount 40 per junction. Ana fre 050 7055 409 ana 055 392 1088. Migo purified mineral water. Akona kono.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching AM Ghana Breakfast Show here on Adoatv Television. Yesterday, Dr. Bedusa Kodie, the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, is saying that Ghana will soon be declining its cases. Ghana will soon be declining in its cases. That is a little words of encouragement we got. It was responding to a question concerning when will the curve flatten yesterday during the press briefing. We look at it. Let's see how realistic it's going to be. Yesterday, it seems the Supreme Court was very busy. They sat on a lot of cases. Among what they've done, they've been able to throw out the U.S. military case against the agreement we had in the U.S. somewhere in 2018. Some people had the argument that we were selling our sovereignty, or we were giving our sovereignty, or we were giving our freedom to the U.S. government. Yesterday, the Supreme Court threw it out. Also, the over 2.2 billion euro bond issues against the Finance Minister Kenneth Oriata was also subsequently thrown out yesterday from the Supreme Court. And still at the Supreme Court, Usombafo's case too, that concerning the affirming the witnesses' statement too was also adjourned Sunday. That is indefinitely. We're looking at these talks this morning. And we'll come back and look at the case between the NDC and then the Vice President Valmia. What really is the case? I'm grateful that ahead of the lockdown, the president made a profound statement that it's better that political parties, or when he placed a ban on social gathering among political activities and what have you, he said that we should stop fighting among ourselves as politicians and face our common enemy, who is COVID-19. But it seems that we are still fighting the pandemic, and yes, still, political actors, NDC and NPP, are beginning to fight themselves, all because the vice president to say something small, it has generated into something huge. It's been a while I saw him, yes, and I've been checking up on him. I come here and I say, good morning to Alaj. I hope Alaj is doing fine. At long last, Alaj has come back to come and take his Wednesday slot. Alaj Jafar Said, how are you doing, of the New Patriotic Party? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my good friend.
Since I didn't see, I know I gave you a happy Ramadan, Karim, earlier. Let me give it to you again. Yes. Happy Ramadan.
Very big thank you. And I hope you are doing well.
Doing fantastic.
May I use this opportunity to first of all say good morning to the President of the Republic and his Vice President and the people of Ghana, and to the Muslim fraternity for this wonderful month of Ramadan. It is a month that Allah, the Creator, has decreed that once you are a Muslim, in the month of Ramadan, you are to fast for 30 or 29 days. So those of us who, let me say, find ourselves as Muslims, we have no option than to obey the commandment of your Creator. Hence, all of us are participating in the fasting of the the Ramadan fasting. So I must say that it is fulfilling, spiritually encouraging, physically motivating to participate. So my Muslim brothers and sisters, I say may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to protect us as he sees us through the fasting. So that is, and I want to believe that your family is also doing well.
Doing fine. Doing fine.
Amidst this kind of pandemic of coronavirus, everywhere you go, it has taken everywhere, the whole world, children, everybody knows of coronavirus. So it means that at least historically, if there is anything that has become so famous, so common to everybody in this world, then coronavirus has overtaken it. And I want to believe that all of us will come together with common destiny, united, seeing that coronavirus as a common enemy, so that together we can fight it to victory.
Amen, I would say. Do you know, I have not had the time to speak to any of my Muslim learned friends on air ever since Ramadan started.
Okay.
You know, ahead of Ramadan, the president had his 8th address on COVID-19, and he gave us some references concerning what some scholars have said and what even Prophet Muhammad, blessed be his name, has said concerning Ramadan and what have you. I know the level of your research works you've done when concerning religion, the fact that you are a scholar and what have you. Personally, what does this whole COVID-19 in this holy month of Ramadan brings to you? Because I was expecting some level of a lot of agitations that people would have to go to the mosque frequently to go and pray, and then you're experiencing a lockdown and what have you. But sometimes the president's words came to calm waters, and people are understanding the times that we are in and also practicing what they have to practice as religious Muslims.
Yeah. My brother, you see, Islam as a religion, permit me to say that it's a complete religion. It leaves nothing unattended to. Every situation you find yourself in, there is an antidote to it Islamically. So what the president came to do was to refer us to what we already know as Muslims, and also to bring down the nerves of those who were agitating in quotes without proper understanding of the situation, to think that maybe somebody is imposing certain things on them. You see, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is quoted to have said that if a house or a home is detected of a virus, no one should leave nor enter that home. Listen to that statement. That when a home is detected of an infectious disease, members of the house should not leave. Neither should anyone be allowed to enter that home.
Like, so when we take Ghana as a whole.
When we take Ghana as a whole, it plays into the lockdown order that came, that no one should come in, and neither are you allowed to go out. Are you getting me? There was another time, that was the hadith that the president referred to. There was a heavy rain. So it was time for Isha prayer, that is the night prayer. And the prophet said unto them that everybody should pray at home. Why? It was because the rain was so risky. During that rain, you want to go, you could slip and fall, harm yourself. A tree can fall on you. Any harmful thing on your way to go and worship can happen to you. So it was considered as a risky situation. Hence, pray in your home. So coronavirus, are you getting me, can take the place of that risky situation. So importing that knowledge into the current situation, one can comfortably say that going into the teachings of Rasulullah, it means that pray at home. Pray at home.
Which is fine.
It's fine. You see, the only time everybody can get up to say no is when you prevent people from worshiping, whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, or what have you, when they say don't worship again, that's why you want to agitate.
Well, even worshiping in your home becomes a crime.
You understand that worshiping at your home becomes a crime. So that one you want to agitate, you want to, defend yourself, in quote. But this instruction, this order, is not to deny you that religious right of what? Worshiping your creator. Hence, both Muslims and Christians are worshiping at homes and what have you. So that call is a complete in line with the teachings of the Prophet. And the last one has to do with the fact that one time, there was, when Islam began to grow, there were some people who were coming to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu to play their allegiance to him, that they have accepted Islam. En route, excuse me to say, there was somebody who was having from
leprosy.
You know, leprosy is also contagious. So when he was coming to embrace, to put his hands into the hands of Prophet, Prophet said that person should be isolated. Are you getting me? Should be taken away from the people as he communicates with him in another way. So it means that prevention is a cardinal call to every religion. It's a cardinal call. So all these things that we are taking, both religious and what the president has indicated, all boils down to what? Prevention. And they'll tell you that prevention is always better than cure.
Right.
So that is what.
Thanks a lot for this profound education this morning. Do that, I took you off the guard, but you never disappoint anyways. We're going to take a quick breather. When we come back, Alaji's friend Amaliba is standing by. He's going to join us in the studio and go straight into the newspaper headlines. Do stay tuned.
Ago, good people of Ghana. Here are some safety measures on prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of tissue into a bin immediately you cough into it and wash your hands with soap and running water. Avoid shaking hands and use sanitizers as often as you can. Signs and symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. Should you experience any of these, or for more inquiries, please contact 0558 439 868. That's 0558 439 868. Or call 0509 497 700. That's 0509 497 700.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and running water.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and partners.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
One peswa ho no mono eho etisenye brodon so ho awoten eho so so etisenye omemuna nkasa woten no eho so etisen eni insem bi diko insem bi editie timemufo etipentokwato santene koto aba wo hwe ne mo kwan se aka kendifo wo beyi won ebetumi aboa amomman no etumi etumpon eso akendifo ebegidwa no etena so a na chese sebia so timemufo to a wotua no wode wasa wonsrem insem bi diko nsɛm bi editie we intine ho behia se meme de biada wo brabo non kron e wo wudon no so sei ken woni me ebedi ehia e wo Adoatv kasa fidie so wo bra ye to nsa afra manyofo a wo da manyosem akoten wona abia hye wonim di ankasa e twetwe nkomo wo bra ye to nsa afra mu ma hye bedwem ni no mensini cracker wo honom e betutu na no na achesen sema edika editie no ya toto ho sere ene abasa e wo kasa fidie eso me a metini dwem edi dwumedi ho chiame edi amede so ene political baby face.
Gatling got away brilliantly indeed. They're ahead of the field at the moment. And Bolt going very, and here comes Usain Bolt.
Join me, Samuel Kusi Apia, every Monday at 8 p.m. on Adoatv as I bring you good things from the world of sports.
Greg is still watching AM Ghana Breakfast Show here on Adoatv Television. It has gotten hot already, even before coming to start. As it stands now, my two good friends they've come. They are two good friends on their own too. I have Mr. Maliba of the NDC joining me. Mr. Maliba, how are you doing? So yeah, I like your smoke.
Thank you.
It seems like it's striking with your face mask too.
Well, I'll take it like that.
Okay. That's interesting. He's a comrade, is with the NDC, and then Alhaj is with the MPP. We are going to start our conversation. Alhaj, I'll start with you. Yesterday, it's obvious that ahead of yesterday, we had people worrying that the rate at which the cases were moving up. People were saying that, okay, even as at minimal cases, we went on a lockdown. We opened up, and now we are hitting 2,719 plus. What is our fate? Are we going to enter into another lockdown or what have you? But there's a little words of encouragement that came from Dr. Bedusa Kode, who happens to be the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, saying that our numbers should be decreasing in the coming days. Should we be hopeful in such comments, or is just one way or the other something that is supposed to be said to calm waters?
My brother, I want to believe that when this issue began, these experts told us that in the period of viral infections, it begins slowly, gets to a peak, then begins to climb. So that scientific and prophetic statement is what we are seeing being manifested. We were in this country when the case started. 2, we were there, 5, 10, it started. Then we had to lock down. When there was that, it was not a lockdown, but restriction to movement for a period. Because when you talk of lockdown, it has its own. A whole lot of measures were put in place, from preventing people from, closing the borders. If you understand that when we talk of the borders, we talk of the sea, the land, the air, not allowing individuals or people to come into the country. Unfortunately, we have, especially looking at the porous nature of our the land borders. If you understand that we had individuals who were trying to beat the order, to the extent that when we go to Nkwanta, that is Oti region, the number of people who entered through that region from the Volta region were arrested and quarantined. And out of it, we got this number of people and this and that. So you could see that, yes, the order was in line the closure of the borders was in line, and also the actions that were taken. Now, back to the issue of the fact that it's on the ascendancy after the lockdown was, before even the lockdown was lifted. I want to believe that issues within the lockdown happened. There are so many things that happened during the lockdown. You were here when we saw the creation of the COVID fund. I want to use this opportunity to say kudos to individuals, organizations, religious organizations, bodies that have responded positively to the call made by the president that they should all come together for us to, in unison, fight against this menace. And you can see that the monies they have contributed, some have been used to procure the PPEs, some have been used to buy food for the vulnerable. As we speak to you now, the military are putting up within 6 weeks an isolation center where all this. So you could see that a whole lot of actions were taken. You understand that, to make sure that all are geared towards finding solution to this pandemic. Now, the point made by the GS boss that we are now at the peak, we are now expecting to decline. Yes, we are going to decline on condition that you and I adhere to the protocols. And what are those protocols? Like we have all done now. I can see in this house that everybody is using the nose mask. If you understand that, I can tell you that I have in my pocket, this is my hand sanitizer. You understand that? So when I was entering, I saw that you have put a Veronica bucket there with water. I washed my hands before entering. If we do all this as a people, I want to believe that we can overcome this particular virus. So yes, we are at the peak. Are you getting me? But let's come together. This pandemic knows nobody. Coronavirus knows nobody. Whether you are rich or poor. I'll be coming to the issue very well. You know, let me quickly go there. There is this man, Elibie of Miami. This is an individual philanthropist who has fleet of ambulances. He drives an ambulance car, but he has a lot of them with motorkits and what have you, providing voluntary services too. And he got infested. This guy was put on under intensive care unit, induced into coma for 3 good weeks, after which he recovered. My brother, when this man was there, this was his statement, that people of the world, Corona knows no religion. Whether you are Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Bagai, and all of you, Corona knows nobody. Let's come together as humans to see how best we can fight this thing. When this guy left the hospital on his way to the house, it's so beautiful. Hundreds of people, hundreds of his employees, they saw that this guy has given himself to the fight against illness. So they all came to... The point I'm making is this. As far as Corona is concerned, you are NDC and so what? You are NPP and so what? You are PNC and so what? Corona knows nobody. Because as we speak to you now, if you check the number of people who have been infested, over 2,000 and something, do you care? Or has anybody asked how many NDC people were in there? How many NPP people were there? Has somebody asked? No. Has somebody asked how many Northerners are in that number? How many Voltarians? How many from the Bono? How many from... Has somebody asked about all those things? No. The point is that Ghanaians have been infested. So let's come together to see how best we can deal with this issue. So politicizing this issue is a game of distraction. Politicizing this issue is a game of distraction. Yes, we say that we are at the peak. Why did we get to that peak? You see, the approach adopted by the government was like, let us hunt for the virus instead of the virus hunting us. Are you getting me? Unlike other countries where people become so symptomatic before they begin to complain, by the time you get to the hospital, hey, the harm has already been caused. So we in Ghana have rather done the opposite. We were rather chasing. That is why when you look at the mortality rate, we are hovering somewhere 0.6, 0.7. But other countries, when you go to Nigeria, they have 13%. When you go to South Africa, they have about 5%. So the point is that the approach this government has adopted, with the support of the people of Ghana, well wishers, those who wish Ghana well, we have all come together. You understand that? To fight this particular pandemic. And it is yielding results. Permit me to use this platform to express my condolences to the number of people we have lost. You see, a single life lost is so expensive that no matter the number of people you are able to save, you must think about the ones you have lost to. That is why Jesus Christ will tell you that if you have a flock of sheep and they'll go to pasture and one didn't return, you will definitely go and look for that particular one. So the ones that we have lost, like the president said, what we know best is how to bring the economy back to life. But what we do not know best is how to bring back life. So those ones, I want to say that condolences to the family members. Those that have passed, it will surprise you to know that some of them are breadwinners, some are fathers, some are mothers, and what have you. But we want to believe that the good Lord will continue to take care of their families. So together, let us come together. That at the end of the day, we are the peak. Let us put in maximum effort to ensure that the preventive measures that have been outlined, we follow them. This is where I'll call on our market women. Our market women. Today, the only place of worry now.
Just a minute.
Yes. The only place of worry now is our marketplaces. Because when you go to the offices, when you go to places of this, you will see that at least they are observing the protocols. To the extent that Ablekuma South, the minister had to lock down MTN office because they are not practicing the social distancing. The only problem we have now is the marketplace. But the information we are picking from the Ashanti region is that the adherence level over there is so high. So if our market women in Accra can equally emulate these social distancing protocols, I want to believe that very soon, together,
I'll come back to you on this market women issue because I'm thinking that leadership on the part of your Accra mayor is failing because the Kumasi mayor is on top of his game when it comes to the fight against COVID-19. I'll come back to respond to that one for me then. Mr. Maliba, we've been plagued by this, and we are all hoping that where we've gotten to as a country, our numbers would decline. It seems that the health service is saying that yes, we should be seeing that level of decline. Do you have hope in this at all? Looking at the measures that government has put in place just to see that we contain the spread of COVID-19.
Yeah, Regina, good morning to you and to our cherry viewers and to the leadership of my political party and to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the incoming president. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate my big sister who is celebrating her birthday today, Mrs. Letitia Owusu, Lisa Dablekuma. Happy birthday to you, big sister. And to the incoming MP for Timpane constituency, and of course the good people of Timpane constituency. They enjoy watching this program.
Thank God.
And let me say good morning to them. Honorable Madam Lydia Akamvariba, she's already in Parliament, and Penka is shaking big time. So we have seen his end. Reginald, I think that this whole issue of the COVID-19 could have been avoided in the first place. Could have been avoided if authorities have initially adhered to a concern raised by WHO and called for border lockdown of countries that were likely to hit, because I recall somewhere in 30th January, the WHO warned that the global this COVID-19 emanating from China have become a global emergency. And I think 7th or 14th, thereabout of February, they declared it a global pandemic and call on nations to be on alert and take necessary measures. The one is to lock down their borders. 2 is to institute effective early detection of the disease, tracking it, and treating the disease. Among these measures, they call for a need to adhere to those measures with immediate effect. Our part of the country, what we see, or what we saw at the time was that our president went into tour in Europe at the time the disease was ravaging countries in Europe. It was when he came back that Ghana recorded the case. That is the point number 1. Now, point number 2 is these psychological manipulations of people's sentiment to court sympathy on the part of the government and indeed the part of the president to boast and claim that we've done so well in managing this. Let me tell you, as we speak now, all the measures we have been practicing in this country have been prescribed by WHO. The social distancing protocols, washing of hands, sanitizing, using the sanitizer as often as possible and all that have been prescribed by the WHO. Ghana here as we speak, what has been our action plan of dealing with this pandemic? Indeed, if there were any, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are. Because the president cannot lock the country when we were only having 54 cases and lift the lockdown when we move to 1,042. To me, something is wrong somewhere. Now, in the midst of all this, look at the monies that the government used this COVID-19 as an excuse to procure. Already, President Mahama, for the sake of his government and the visionary leadership he provided to this country, NDC was able to create a stabilization fund that yielded over 2 billion Ghana cedis. The government went into, that yielded over 200 million US dollars. The government went into it and took 200 million US dollars. Okay? World Bank gave them 100 million US dollars, making it 300 million. They applied for a credit facility at IMF, and 1 billion was also disbursed to them. Okay? Aside that, the government have created a COVID-19 trust fund headed by his own nephew or his own niece, the former Chief Justice. Okay? And that fund, the amount that have been accumulated in that fund so far, nobody is aware how much they have been able to make. You get it? So the lack of transparency in the part of the president and his government and the leadership around him, coupled with their abysmal management of this issue, leaves a lot to be desired. Now, Regina, you see, when the partial lockdown was instituted by the government or by the president, we were told that government had been given 250 billion Ghana cedis to provide food for the vulnerable, in which 2 million were going to be used in a day. At the end of the day, what did we see? The abysmal management of this, how food were being prepared and thrown in the air to citizens, fellow citizens of this republic. You get it? Government came to announce certain social mitigation factors. Even those measures were highly pronounced by the NDC. At the time we argued that, look, this COVID-19, it has suddenly brought a hardship on the people. So government should look at, first of all, once you have instituted a lockdown, people are not going to go out. And schools have been banned from meetings, and other organizations have also been equally banned. Now, students or some institutions are resorting to online learning. If that is the case, government, we expect the president to talk to the telecos. First of all, this communication sales tax, which has been increased by 50% without any use, the president and the government should consider scrapping it. And giving the telecos a tax waiver for, let's say, 6 months, because many of them are going to renew their licenses in no time. You understand? So when you give them this leverage, you can then factor in and reduce their cost of service to the subscribers so they can make bundle available, they can make airtime available. So as people are home and are resorting to the use of the internet for information and students are engaging in online learning, you can do these things, which will have a direct reflection on the life of the people. Yet the president didn't adhere to it. Barely 3 weeks after the lockdown, they came and lifted it. And look at the irony of it. You have lifted a lockdown, but you are telling the people not to go out. You are telling them that I won't feed you anymore. Okay? What does that mean? I should stay home, I shouldn't come out, but you have lifted a lockdown and you won't provide me food. That means I can live at home and die, or how do you expect me to survive? Do you get it? Let me make this point emphatically. If you look at all this money that have been provided to the government, yesterday, African Center for Health Policy Research and Analysis, headed by Dr. Thomas Anaba, made a press conference or issued a press statement, which I have read it a bit. And Dr. Anaba argued forcefully that, look, regardless of all these resources that have been made available to the government, last week, Kasapa Online reported that when you go to Kolebu, doctors there are buying their own PPEs, ranging from 200 Ghana cedis to 300 Ghana cedis. Do you get it? We don't have adequate PPEs for doctors. We don't have same for nurses. Even headgear and nose masks like we are wearing here this morning is even a challenge to our health professionals. Even though they are the frontline battlefield officials or people who are helping us to combat this pandemic. So you ask yourself that, what is government doing in ensuring that the life of our health professionals and nurses are secured? Don't forget that the former, is it dean or rector of
you have just a minute
physicians
left.
and surgeons.
In all this said and done, should we expect a decline soonest?
I haven't read the statement to that effect and the details he is giving or he has given to anchor the argument.
But based on your observations on the streets, what is happening in Ghana?
Reginald, not only a decline, you see, I am suffering, as you can see, being in this, I'm suffering. Not me alone, everybody. I will be very happy to wake up, say tomorrow morning, or by the close of day, when WHO will announce to the whole world that COVID-19 is no longer a threat to human life. And not only Ghana, but everywhere around the world, life can resume to normalcy.
All right,
however,
your time is up.
The quick nature by government officials to claim early glories, they should hold on, because we are not yet out of the woods.
All right, we are not yet out of the woods. You have 5 minutes to rebut to it. In your rebuttal, please add to it. I think that leadership has failed on the part of your mayor, because the mayor has not been able to put any prudent measures so far as far as market centers and activities are concerned. I'm yet to wake up one day to find what he has done so far to it. What do you say to
Yes, I will come to that, but quickly to address certain misinformation.
It's just you have 5 minutes, including mine.
You understand that? You see, my brother has just spoken that, yes, he stood so far away from the realities on the ground. The issues of PPEs, what he spoke about were the initial stages. As we speak to you, thousands of PPEs have been given out. So if today you are sitting down here...
It's still not sufficient anyways.
You see, the nature of the PPEs are such that they are consumables. You understand that? So you need to replenish.
Replenish them.
You understand that? And definitely you consume, you'll be replenished. That is why the government has even gone a step further to ensure that some of these PPEs are produced locally. So what again should the government do? If this is not prudent management, what again should government do? So if somebody is here talking about the fact that PPEs and what have you, as we speak, at the initial stage, USA, UK, and what have you, that had an economy that is over 100 times more than ours, they were crying that PPEs were not available and what have you. So these were the initial teething problems. But as we speak to you now, at least, hospitals across the country, every hospital, clinic, and what have you can tell you that the government has provided the PPEs to them. So we should not sit here and try to...
You can say that it's provided some quantity.
That is it. So at the end of the day, good. As I said, they are consumables. You understand? This thing that I'm using now, after I can't use it again. So it needs to be replenished. You understand that? So it is a normal reason. So yes, the government will continue to provide all these things. So please, we should leave that one aside. You speak about the fact that the government, the president at the initial stages went on tour. Did this in U.S. President Trump, did you go to China? Italian President, did you go to China? UK President, did you go to China?
Prime Minister for you.
Prime Minister. The Chancellor of Germany, did he come to China? How did they acquire the COVID-19? So if you sit here and infantilely trying to say that because the president traveled, that is why Ghana got it, it means that you don't understand what the virus is all about. It's not about the traveling.
I think he didn't add that part to it because he traveled.
That is what he said.
In the wake of it, that people were trying to close their
he said he went globe-trotting, he went on tour. It is after he came in here. So this kind of submission should not be entertained, because world powers, US, UK, Germany, never came to this. The president never came, but they are now battling coronavirus. So if anybody tries to make this point, the president is just trying to find fault.
Like, you have just 2 minutes.
No, please.
I gave you 5 minutes.
You talk of action plan. Do you understand that? We were here when Mahama went for Ebola fund. The issue of Ebola. Do you hear of any action plan from Mahama? But as we speak to you now, our plan is that tracing, testing, and treating. And this has been what we are doing. And we are on top of the issue. You understand that? You talk about what? Transparency. My brother, you see, NDC have a way of trying to find fault of everything, even if there is no fault. The COVID fund has just been created. The first week that the president spoke about it, he told us that he has received about 8-point-something million. If this is not transparency, if this is not accountability, then what is it? So is it by force to find fault where there is no fault? That's what NDC is doing.
A minute more.
Please.
A minute more.
My brother, you see, you talk of what? Food sharing. You were here. You see, treachery. Treachery. We should abhor treacherous people. When food were being shared, some people, when they give them kenke with tilapia, kenke with sardine, they will take out the sardine,
put it in the pocket,
and show only the kenke, and say this is what this. We saw all these things, but that is not where we are.
Okay.
If you understand, that's not what we are dealing with.
Right.
So the point we are saying is that all these things come to play. Ghana has been recommended by world leaders. See what we are doing. We are on top. The issue of mayor.
I'll come back to you because the time is up. I don't want to eat it, so I'll still give you a minute to respond to that.
You know something? When we are speaking on platform like this, certain words need not to be encouraged.
Okay.
For Alaji to describe my submission as infantile, I take huge exceptions to that. However, it is on record that the president went to Europe for 14 days visit, isn't it? Did he go there for a state function? What was the rationale behind that visit?
To go and bring corona.
At the time, Europe
to go and bring corona.
At the time, Europe was facing this challenge. He's supposed to have gone to the European Parliament, right? He was prevented from going to European Parliament.
Who was prevented?
The president was prevented from going there.
Master, why
besides that, when they came back,
let's make his point. But he didn't go to the European
Parliament. You understand? Why
he did not go to the European Parliament. He did not go there.
When he
came, part of the protocol route that was given.
When he came back, he's on record that the delegation he came back with brought the disease. The Norwegian ambassador.
It was not proven.
Listen, Regina, please. When he was talking, you listen to me.
I'm also listening.
You hold on. The Norwegian ambassador, was he not part with them?
He was part of them, yeah.
Wasn't he the one who was first reported to have brought the case, the disease?
To Ghana? No.
To Ghana?
No.
You see, the first two cases they came to tell us.
No.
Reginald, don't let us argue with this. It's on record.
Go ahead.
When the health minister announced the first press conference, addressed the first press conference announcing the breakup of the disease in Ghana, what did he say? The Norwegian ambassador and one Ghanaian.
He did not mention the Norwegian ambassador.
He said two people.
He said two. But he did not mention the Norwegian ambassador.
The Norwegian ambassador is on record to have been the one
who went to his country to go and test positive then, not in Ghana.
Anyway, but he came to Ghana, right?
He came to Ghana,
Didn't he make contact?
Yes.
Didn't he make contact?
He made contact.
Very well. When the president came, There was a suggestion, in fact, the minority in parliament argued that if the president and the delegation returned, they should be quarantined or they should be asked to self-isolate themselves. Did they do that?
The president was tested at the airport when he came.
Has Mahama tested so
from
far?
there?
No. Has
From
Mahama
there?
tested so far?
From there?
But Nanado and his family
From
have
there?
tested, eh?
From there?
Okay.
Look at the Kumasi 63rd independent anniversary. When concerns were raised that there shouldn't be a need of organizing that anniversary in the first place because of the threat of the pandemic, they went ahead and organized it. You get it? Now, here we are. Here we are. Even look at the way in which this lockdown, the partial lockdown was done in Accra and those, how do we call, demarcated areas. You are given a lockdown. Very well. It's good. You have given 72 hours time for the lockdown. To me, it's somehow good because if it is all of a sudden, people might not be able to prepare themselves at home. So if you give that 72 hours ultimatum, fair be it. But the president should have directed not to allow anybody to live within these confined areas. You understand?
That
the following day,
that didn't come.
The following day, you go to the
was a partial
stations.
It was not a lockdown. Please.
You
We should
go
not
to
misinterpret the
you
statement.
you don't go
Was
to
it
the
a
lorry
total?
stations.
Was it a lockdown?
Wait, Alaj, when the president announced the partial lockdown,
yes,
it went further to say
You
that
are bringing
when
him in
the lockdown. No, I'll give you your time because you are left with 2 minutes. I'll give you the time too. When we are during the lockdown period, you are not supposed to engage in intercity movements.
Yes.
So what he's saying is that ahead of it, since we know we'll be going to that lockdown and we won't encourage intercity movement, that 72 hours ahead of it, we should have also closed intercity movement. Just to curtail the tracing, testing, and treating that you want to engage in.
It's not
that is what he's saying.
No, it doesn't make any scientific sense.
Ole, you have your 2 minutes. Yeah.
You get it? But what happened? People traveled away from Ghana. Sorry, from Accra, Kumasi, Kasua, and those demarcated areas. Where lies the possibility that these people are not traveling with the disease? You get it? Don't forget that during that period, one recorded the case. Upper East recorded the case. And some other regions in the country, including Eastern region and Volta region. You get it? The president delegation, a journalist, who was supposed to have appeared in court to testify in Honorable Samuel Ofusampofo's case in court, the state attorneys went to argue before the judge that, look, the journalist cannot come.
He was in quarantine.
He was quarantined. That journalist was part of the president delegation. So why was the journalist asked to be quarantined, to quarantine himself? But the delegation that traveled with the president and came back was refused.
Let's not forget that.
The issue at hand is not an emotional issue. It's a scientific issue. You understand that? We have been it's a scientific issue, not an emotional issue.
Go ahead.
So scientifically, if you exhibit those things, you'll be quarantined.
I'll take it for you next time.
You see, it is highly disrespectful to me and my viewers.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
You get it? So the way the president managed the whole thing, or the way the government handled it, it's abysmal and it should not be tolerated. You see, look at Vietnam. Vietnam is a next door neighbor to China. Are you aware they are having only 278 cases?
They are doing very well with their cases.
Okay?
Yeah.
0 death. And out of that, they have 125 recoveries. So far, 0 death. The whole of West Africa, we are number 1. In Africa,
with cases.
But the mortality rate is what?
In Africa, we are within the first 7. Even if it stretches the first 10, we are there. Of countries hovering with high infection rate. Look at it. Here is where we are. And you see a president and his government looking around, telling lies and telling figures. When the president came and gave us the figure and added that there is 18,000 backlog, what happened to the 18,000 backlog? When the lockdown was lifted up, 3 days later, OT recorded 13 cases.
Okay.
You get it? Right. And from there, now, we have, at the time we're going for the lockdown, I think we had only barely 3 regions.
30 seconds.
Now, we have about 12 regions out of 16 being infected. And still, the figures in these infected areas are going up. So there is no need gainsaying and sitting somewhere and then trying to engage in a sheer tickling and laughing. Your final point. You yourself know that your performance in this case is very abysmal.
Your final point on this one. If you had a chance to advise the president in these times that you have hit 2,719 and even more or plus, would you advise for another lockdown?
You see,
Should the president come to talk this weekend?
If there's another lockdown, I'll take it. Because we are dealing, you see, Reginald, we shouldn't play with COVID-19. Looking at what happened in Ecuador, Italy, and other countries, and even the whole US, is panting. Ghana, we shouldn't take things for granted. You get it? And I'm expecting the leadership to be more proactive at the beginning
than it is now.
You see? And even if there's going to be a second lockdown, it will even be worse. Meanwhile, when the president was lifting the law, you know what he told us? That if the need be, he's going to institute curfew, not a lockdown. So why should you sit down and wait for it to get to the level that you have to impose a curfew, but not a lockdown?
Okay.
You see, I made the point that I made the point that the issue at hand.
Unless you want to talk about mail.
Okay.
Mail. Okay.
So the issue at hand is not emotional but scientific. Like my brother rightly said, the president said that scientifically they'll continue to collect data and what have you. If they find a particular place that they are not adhering to the protocols and cases over there are increasing,
there will be curfews.
There will be not only curfew. The first is to lock the place down, which is totally different from restriction, but this is a total lockdown and imposition of curfews. You understand that this is a proactive statement. So it's just in order. Now the issue, do you remember that but for the betterment of the proper management of this economy, all the interventions that the government did, it wouldn't have been able to do that. This must be put on record.
It's arguable.
You understand that? We wouldn't have been able to do that for the betterment of the management of the economy. At the end of the day, the issue of mayor, do you know the number of PPEs that the mayor has distributed?
I was specific with something that measures at market centers.
Yes.
Measures at market centers.
Yes. So for now, I cannot, because I don't have those facts to say something or not. But what I will do, you understand that, is to again call for that action plan, what the mayor has been able to do. Because I don't want to believe that somebody like Mohamed Sowa will sit unconcerned. Because right from the word go, I remember very well that as part of his measures to contribute to the prevention of this particular thing, number of PPEs were shared among market women, taxi drivers, commercial drivers, and what have you. He shared all these things.
That's fine.
So as far as specific market...
Moving forward, I'm also looking forward to see what he will do. That's you made what you just called something.
Mohamed Sowa?
No.
What?
You made mention of a word. Modalities you put in place just to see that we won't go to our market centers and then we have people crowded at our market centers. People are failing to adhere to
the social distancing
protocols, even on the part of sellers. You get it? So if sellers are not adhering, what do you want the buyers to even come and do about it? But kudos to other MMDCs I've heard.
Yeah, because when you go to commerce, for instance, like you were saying, if you are to enter the market, one, if you are not in your...
You won't enter.
You will not enter.
Thank you.
And even those in the sellers themselves are in
the MC for down east had to close the market because it took them to a school, a park to go and sell there. And they have the perishable and non-perishable side. The non-perishable moved to the perishable, and then he had to close the market down.
When you go to Medina, you see we have major market and the new market. What the MC has instituted there is that he has a task force. When the market, they see that the number is increasing, the subsequent sellers are prevented from entry until the number reduced before they allow. You understand?
It's not happening at Agbebulushi.
You see,
it's not happening at Okanshi.
I have not been there. This one,
I have been there.
You see, I live in Medina. This is what I testify to what I have seen. You understand?
So that's it. We are going to move on to our next. So I can talk about the Supreme Court case because I have just some few minutes left. Let's go to Baumia quickly and then let's wrap up because they are closing at 8:40. We need to also make room for people to contribute. I know that people are sending messages on Facebook and on WhatsApp numbers as well. I do want to read them subsequently. We are going to talk on our next subject. It seems that in a bit to just oppose how crises are being managed in this country, Baumia made allusion to how the NDC has handled their doomsday menace as against what the NPP is doing concerning COVID-19. NDC stalwarts like Kisliatu, also appears to be a deputy finance minister at John Mahama's administration, is saying that it is inhumane on the part of the vice president to make such comments in these times that there's a pandemic that is killing people. And the vice president made mention of data. And Adonko is having a problem with the vice president saying data, but failed to mention any data when he was having his time. My very good friend, the former member of parliament too for Madina Surugu, has said that, look, these people are just trying to massage words and they want to find blames for any reason. These are some few comments that have come from some notable NDC folks that I know personally and I've watched on other sister platforms. Elijah, I'll start with you on this one. I think when the president made that profound statement ahead of the lockdown that the common enemy is COVID-19. So political parties should rather come together to fight the common enemy, fight ourselves. It took the country into some serenity during the lockdown where we were not having political gimmicks. Until in recent times, it seems that a lot of political talks have come into it. And to have the second gentleman of the land go political, it becomes a worry. As soon as we are not adhering to we not being political with the pandemic.
My brother, you see, very soon, or since Amir has spoken, people have put aside the issues he has raised and have decided to target him as a person. And that has been the culture of most, especially the NDC gurus, because when Baumia sneezes, then the entire NDC crumbles. So what they do now is that we will not deal with the issues he's raising, but let's target him as a person. Tony Edu has indicated that if there is one man that has crippled NDC, and NDC has not found an antidote to, then it is Baumia. So what they now do is that when Baumia speaks, then they will now parade a number of them. Excuse me to say, like Rollins would say, children with what is babies with what? Sharp teeth. To come at the person instead of the issue. But at the end of the day, the way they failed and they are failing, they shall continue to fail. The point is this.
So I want to speak.
I'm coming to the issue. Yeah, I'm coming there.
I want to know how prudent is it.
No, I'll come there. I'm coming there because you see, when a murderer murders, nobody talks about it because already they know that you are a murderer. When a thief steals, are you getting me? It's like normal. But when a decent person steals, God-fearing person steals, then you see the whole people will come and say, oh, you of all people, why do you steal? And what have you? That is what we come into play now. We were here when the gentleman of the state, the first gentleman, Nanado, indicated that we should not politicize the issue of coronavirus. You and I, everybody agreed to that fact that we should not politicize, and we have not politicized it. The point is that ever since that call was made, there was no political utterance from people in his government. But we have seen Mahama on daily, weekly basis throwing attacks on the government. Facebook, what, talking every day. Surprisingly, nobody spoke about Mahama. But as soon as Baumia came in to sneeze, to crumble down all that Mahama has said, then we are not talking about the fact that...
I'll call those Facebook interactions as observations that is seen.
My brother.
One way or the other, he being able to be part of ECOWAS as at that time that Ebola was
my brother,
was
I'm talking about the politicization of the issue. Are you getting me? I'm talking about politicization of the issue.
Suggesting what measure would have been prudent.
My brother. So it means that what the government is doing is not good. Are you getting the point?
Not outrightly so.
My brother, he has spoken on a number of occasions, trying to make it sound like Mahama, in other words, Nanado is not managing the situation well. We saw situations when the first issue started. He will go and present one or two things and tell you that he has donated 50,000 Ghana of this and that to people. Calling on government that government is not producing, you go to places, government has not done this. You are politicizing.
But it's a political figure. Baumia happens to be the vice president of the Republic.
My brother, Baumia became the vice president not as a person, Are you getting me? But because it was his political party that brought him there. So he's playing two functions. Political issues, when they come, he will deal with them. And the economic issues, when they come, he will deal with them. What did he say?
That being said and that, so if Mama, excuse my language, is feeling at statesmanship, should Bami also feel at statesmanship?
No, sometimes. That is why the president never spoke on this. Sometimes, if somebody is misbehaving, you must find a way to control him.
Through you also misbehaving.
You understand that? What did Bamia say? What Bamia just called on is that, my brother, we are in a situation where Ghana has suffered two major crises before. One is self-imposed, internally generated problem, and one is externally generated. The internally generated was as a result of what? In other words, what is it? The incompetence that was displayed. That led to what? The issue of what? Doing so. My brother, during doing so, I don't know where you were working by then. Ordinary citizens who were selling pure water could not sell because they were not having, the power to power the water to make it chill to go and sell. Hospitals, people died. Are you getting me? The point you're making is that if there is anybody here who wants to make it sound like, as for doing so, it was normal, my brother, then the person is so wicked to the people of Ghana. Because the effect of doing so led to the economy crumbling down to 3.5 GDP growth. And as we speak to you now, this coronavirus has led to the revision of what? The projected GDP growth from 6 point something to what? 3%, at worst 1 point something percent. So both doomsaw and what have you have repercussions on the economy. So if Bawumia should come out to say to you that during the doomsaw that you yourself imposed on the people, that surprisingly at that time, you remember this song, there was somebody who composed a song that young Ara assassinated, the person changed it in such a way that petrol prices were going up, the light-off were just up and down. My brother, it was at the peak of it. That was when Muhammad told us that we should rather be prepared to pay more. And petrol prices were increased, electricity. Instead of cushioning the people, he was rather suffocating people, killing people.
Alaj.
The point I'm making is this.
Alaj, I'm following the points clearly.
Yes.
Doomsaw brought an economic crunch.
Yes.
COVID-19, coronavirus.
Yes.
Is bringing a huge insufficiency on human lives. Should we peddle human lives over economics?
So when I told you that Doomsaw killed people, is that not human lives?
As a result of?
As a result of?
Doomsaw was not a plague. It wasn't.
My brother, so do you want to tell me that those who lost their lives, are you getting me? Those who lost their lives during Doomsaw, those ones should not be counted?
They should.
So what I'm talking about?
Was Doomsaw killing people like the way COVID-19 is killing people?
In my initial statement, I made the point that we should value every life.
Exactly.
That even if it is a single soul that we lose, we should value it. So it is not about the number of people who have died. It is about the fact that people have died. Are you getting me? And those deaths was as a result of what? Internally generated mismanagement consequences. So at the end of the day, if Bawumia comes out to say to you that if you want to speak with data, what is the data? The data is not about the fact that there is information about Airbus that Muhammad was involved in. That's not the data we are talking about. It is not about the data that this in a bus branding. Muhammad's picture was put there and a whole lot of money was spent there. It's not about that data. It was not about the data that there was a Ford that was given to you as a bribe. It was not about that data. No, it was about the data that as we speak to you now, for 3 months, electricity bill, lifeline, free. Those beyond 100 Ghana cedis will pay 50 Ghana cedis. Those beyond this will pay 50% of their this. It's about water. That is the data we are referring to. It's about the fact that many were fed. It's about the fact that at the end of the day, the government has come out with what? A fund that is building so many hospitals. It's about the fact that at the end of the day, PPEs are being produced locally. So if we put all these things together, the issue of coronavirus, like we said, It is after Baumia has spoken that we saw people like Kwesi Ahoy coming in to say that we should not politicize. Meanwhile, at the time Mahama was speaking, he lost Mahama's contact to have called him to order. But we have come to agree that at the end of the day, the issue at hand is not political. If you want to politicize this, it means that you are unpatriotic. Let us all come together as a country. Let us come together as citizens of this nation so that together we can get ourselves out of this. My brother, like you are saying, you are suffocating in this. I am suffocated in this. People want to go and
live
make
normal
money.
life.
They want to live normal life. So do we continue to politicize this issue?
No, thank you.
No,
Thank you,
we
Alex.
should not. So that at the end of the day, together, we can say that, yes, as a country, we have victoriously come out of this pandemic.
All right.
This is what we are calling for.
But the president was not misbehaving. You can say the former president was misbehaving.
I didn't say he was misbehaving.
He said that if someone is misbehaving.
So if I say someone, why do you take it for? So why do you take it for Muhammad?
It is not for him.
You understand that?
So
I
it is
made
not
a
for
statement.
him.
Why do you take
someone?
Yeah. Why do you take it for Muhammad?
Okay.
Are you telling me that Muhammad was misbehaving?
No. I just wanted to affirm
No,
that.
you see, I made a statement.
That if
you
someone,
give someone,
right.
and I didn't make reference to Muhammad. So if you are taking it for Muhammad, it's your own
I'm
cup
not
of
taking
tea.
it for you. I can't take it for you. I can't take it for such a statement. I can't.
Okay.
Mr. Maliba.
Reginald, you see, when we are speaking about leaders of this country, we ought to be very mindful that today is President Akufo-Addo on the throne. Today is President Mahama as a former president. Today it is Bawumia as a vice president. Tomorrow it can be you, it can be I, it can be anybody else.
Exactly.
And the way we will talk about them, we shouldn't forget. They are there, we are here. Maybe someday we may be there, someone will be here.
Yes.
And us, they are speaking about us like the way we are doing about them. People are watching.
Good. Fantastic.
People are watching. And we must be very mindful and decorous when we are talking about the leaders.
Thank you.
It was President Mahama who came to speak. Bawumia responded. Invariably, the conversation is about Bawumia and President Mahama. So if you say, if someone is misbehaving, I don't need someone to interpret that statement to me. You are discussing about President Mahama and Vice President Bawumia. Therefore, if it is not Bawumia misbehaving, then it is President Mahama who is misbehaving.
So let's just take it that he didn't mention names. Let's take it. He didn't. So let's move on.
I don't need names to be mentioned to me because we are rational beings. You get it? What is the issue? In fact, he veered into insulting the NDC, and I wanted you to stop him when he said NDC are babies with sharp teeth. Roland didn't mention any NDC member. He just made a statement.
He said
so for him,
he said he excused himself.
For him,
he excused himself. No.
Reginald, would you hold on?
Mr. Maliba,
a minute.
Hold it. Mr. Maliba, hold it, please. I was listening. He excused himself, and he borrowed the words of the former president.
Good. Then excuse me to also borrow the words from Kennedy Japan.
Go ahead.
That MPP, they are the most stupid people in this country, and he doesn't know why he
that is
belongs to the
extreme.
party.
That is extreme.
Kennedy Japan said it.
And he went further. Kennedy Japan said that
the
village party, evil party. That is what he said.
No,
that is what Kennedy Japan said.
Gentlemen.
That NDC is made up of evil people. That's what he said.
Gentlemen.
So if you are using Kennedy Japan as a reference point, then we can quote him left and right.
I won't even entertain the reference point again, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Now, what is the issue?
Okay.
President Mahama spoke about the building of hospitals. In fact, it was the health ministry that organized a press conference and claimed that the hospitals project Mahama administration started, they didn't abandon them.
Good.
And that they have completed them.
And they were responding to calls from your friends of the NDC that the presidency is going to build 88. What of the abandoned projects of John Mahama?
The president said he is coming to build 88 district hospitals and 6 additional hospitals, making them 94. To me, if you build 1,000 hospitals, it doesn't spoil anything, but rather it helps to strengthen our health sector.
Okay.
So any government that comes to office and wants to build hospitals, it's a good idea. No NDC member have disputed it. However, have come to our rescue. University of Ghana Medical Center, which we built and they came and refused to open. all of these facilities have come to our rescue during this period. So there's a difference between the eagle and the vulture. They all fly above the ground, but when they look down, they don't see similar things. Do you get it? When it takes the vulture to look for a carcass to go and consume, the eagle looks down and sees a live bird to catch. So President Mahama sat here as a president, look beyond the next 10 years, and so they need to provide facilities across the country. We have a president who is now promising after 4 years, when we are in the midst of pandemic. That was the difference. That was the distinction in this argument, or the main premise of this argument. Then Bawumia came in. And you see, MPP have made it a policy. If you want to destroy a northerner, use his brother. And Bawumia have been the one they have assigned to carry out those uncouth, kind of things. Well, be that as it's made.
Bawumia carrying out
uncouth. Yes. Yes.
I want to know where uncouth is represented.
Okay. That is the attitude he's exhibit always. And you see,
so that's how you're interpreting
as a northerner, let me speak particularly about my tradition. I am a Kusasi by tribe. When I go home and my junior brother is sitting on the seat, I can't sack him and sit on, unless I find him a substitute and take what he's sitting on, if I only want to sit on it. Or if he recognizes me as a senior brother and get up for me, I can sit down. That is the level at which we've been trained. Or we are being brought up. You understand? You see an elder person, you bow down, you greet him and call him Baba. You get it? Our respect for elderly have no bounds. If anything at all, President Mahama was a president. And the then presidential candidate Bawumia was assigned to attack this man and insult him in all quarters. Samira Bawumia, the second lady of Ghana today, the second lady today, was able to go and stand in the northern region, call President Mahama a useless president in this country. She did that. Oh. She did that. I have never heard this. Regina, she did that. I am amazed. But in any case, let me continue. She did that. She did that. She did that. Yes, she did that.
He is rather calling the president useless.
When Mahama speaks, please, it takes no less a person but Bawumia to come and respond. Let me put it here and now. Even President Akufo-Addo cannot compare himself to President Mahama. You know why? When you come to presidential seniority under the Fourth Republic, you can talk about Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, His Excellency Kufuor, His Excellency J.A. Late Meros, His Excellency President Mahama, before you talk about His Excellency President Akufo-Addo. So in terms of presidential seniority, President Akufo-Addo cannot come anywhere, doesn't come anywhere close to President Mahama. That's number one. Number two, President Mahama, as we speak now, is a former president. He belonged to the club of former president and statesmen across the world.
And now a flag bearer.
George Bush, Obama, and the rest. These are his colleagues in the nationhood as we live in today. So if there should have been someone to come and respond to President Mahama's statement he made relative to the health infrastructure he provided, it should have been President Akufo-Addo and not Bawumia as a vice president.
All right.
So Bawumia came in.
Just 30 seconds.
Bawumia came in. And instead of addressing the issues, he decided to politicize it. President Mahama has never politicized the COVID-19 issue. In fact, he has shared PPEs than even the government itself. The relief items he has provided outshadowed the government. When the CSM was killing people in the Upper West region, it took Mahama to donate a vaccine worth of 50,000 Ghana cedis to the Upper West Regional Health Directorate to combat the disease. So, in conclusion, when you talk about you share food, money, during doing so, it was Mahama who provided over $800 million to the pharmaceutical industries in Ghana as a stimulus package.
Of NDC former appointees are in court now because of these corruption issues. So as far as infrastructure is concerned, NDC saw it as a medium of corruption. That is why all the projects they have come to meet. Even Medina, on your way, Legon here, the park, the stadium build, did they complete it? Inherited under Mahama. We have macroeconomic question.
No. Mahama. Okay? Regis here. Under President Mahama's leadership, By the time we were leaving office in the year 2016, we constructed 1,200 chip compounds across the country.
My brother, that statement is totally untrue.
Additionally, 1,600 was commenced and under construction before we left office.
No proof. He's just mentioning the
figures. He's telling you. They built.
What are the
He's giving you the ones that they are under construction.
No, he never said so.
That they completed.
He said that. Where?
We built and finished.
You're just mentioning the figures.
We built and finished 62 polyclinics across the country.
You including Central Region? I said 10 polytechnics in Central Region. It took Nana Akufo-Addo to build those ones.
Please,
so it is not you who built them.
Put Alaji's microphone on.
It was not you who built them.
Mr. Oliver, go ahead.
You got it?
Yeah.
President Mahama, you see, they say what? Good beats doesn't rattle.
All right.
Empty barrels also make the noise.
Like you are doing.
And this will not talk.
Like you are doing.
But our achievement is out there for people to see. University of Ghana Medical Center. We built it from the scratch. Even after President Mahama have commissioned the first phase, they came and abandoned it until COVID strike. You're talking about infrastructure? Go to Kumasi KJTR market. Go and see it. Go and see Afaramintu Hospital. The people of Kumawu, you are what?
I'm here to, I remember Alaji that whenever you have a talk with somebody in the radio or television station, you have your time and he has his time. So you have to take your time. When he's also to take his time, then you keep quiet for him to make his analysis. When you are jumping, it's like you are the overall in the studio. So we don't like that.
Okay, Alaji, you don't like that. Alaji, it goes to you, so please take note. Okay. Next friend on the line. Hello, good morning. I've lost you.
Yeah.
The caller is back. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Your name, where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling to call from Tamal.
All right, go ahead with your contribution. I'm listening.
I want the NDC man to tell us what they achieved in terms of infrastructure with the health sector from 2009 to 2012. He should tell us, are we comparing the 8 years of NDC to 4 years of NPP? Let us do 4 years to 4 years. Compare 4 years to 4 years. So NDC spent 4 years, NPP 4 years, and see who is doing what. He should take up that challenge and give us the figures of what they achieved in their first 4 years. Thank you.
Mr. Maliba, please, do what to give us that.
An economy, if the fundamentals are weak, the dollar will expose you.
Okay, thank
Whatever he has said, that expose him.
He's been exposed. Thank you. Your time is up. It's just 30 seconds you are given. Next friend on the line. Hello.
Okay. Please, can I speak? Chi.
Yes, speak Chi. Go ahead. Chi, dear
I want Ghana for your tears. The person Ghana for 8 years, and you can say my politicians, or more than football, where boy, you know, where boy, I agree. What say if you fire again? Yes, you are in the answer. Now, who found the again answer to me? It will be Kasa, I was saying, if you be again, it's some more coming. Maybe near politics, because maybe near politicians, but some more can also more contradictory. Mumma, fire again, and near answer, although I will move for the other.
Yes.
Okay.
They have inherited, they abandoned them. This is a regional hospital, Kumasi. District hospital, Salaga. District hospital, Tepa. District hospital, Nkoko. District hospital, Chifupraso. District hospital, Konongo. And district hospital, Atomic. They've abandoned all these projects. But Nanado.
So where did you get this document from?
Go to Ministry of Health site. You see all this.
Is there?
Is there. Nanado has come.
What is the state of these hospitals now?
When you go to Accra East, Nanado, what is this? He has completed and commissioned them. Accra East, Ga East.
Ga East, yeah.
Yes, Ga East. He has completed and commissioned them. When you go to Wa Hospital, he has commissioned that. So what Mahama is doing, what Nanado is doing is
Jesus Christ of
the projects that were abandoned from Kufuor's time up to Mahama time. I'm telling you that Mahama himself and NDC, they have abandoned their own projects before, Nanado came in.
Wrap up.
So we have come in. And as I speak to you now, when you go to Central Region, all the polytechnics, over there, to the extent that Atufosun was even saying that why is it that they were not invited to the commissioning of this thing. So one, MPP, what we are doing is that we are completing the project that we inherited as back as Kufuor's time, Mahama's time, and what we ourselves. All right, you understand that? There was nothing. So the point is that as far as health is concerned, the material, I mean, the infrastructure we are building them, the human resource. If I tell you the number of nurses that we have employed, you will clap for Nanado. Right. I think if we talk of the nursing allowances, you cancel Maham.
Thank you. Mr. Maliba, I think the caller asked a question that you have to address. Yes. That's between 2009 and 2012.
We are not taking the shine from President Mensah's time. During President Mensah's time,
you announce the abolishment. Doesn't mean that Medina.
Then they are doing otherwise.
No. Please.
I'm
saying to you that.
So you allow him to consume my time.
No.
Go to Medina number 3.
As back as 2010. Maybe they had a peculiar issue. So there's a ban on it.
I say the fact that there's a ban. You can't ban something.
There's a peculiar issue.
So that's what I'm.
So
I saw.
Regional,
let me make it. So let me make it. Let me
I just wanted to just clear it up.
You understand? Let's identify those.
Under the leadership of President Mensah, millennium schools were built, particularly in Greater Accra, to end and abolish the shift system. This was done. Even President Mensah, rest in peace. I think 3 days of his demise.
Oh, no, it's microphone is off.
This is very reckless.
No, it's microphone is off.
What is this?
If you are responsible.
It's microphone is off. Go ahead.
I should stop what?
Go ahead. Oh, speak to me.
Insulting what? Is it the respect for me to talk to you to interject?
If you respect yourself,
Alaj.
When you are fasting,
he's kept
a man fasting, look at your behavior. A man fasting, look at your behavior.
Alaj,
please calm down.
Alaj,
stop misbehaving.
Alaj.
Okay? Are you not misbehaving?
Gentlemen.
What they said. Among the issues